So Nahid knows. Different video today. 10 things that I've learned in the last 30 years of being on this planet. Number one is to live life. So this video I actually constructed by going through a list of things, made up of my life experiences over the last 30 years. Yes, I'm 30 years old. And basically living your life to the fullest just stood out there. We are often victims of just not being able to go through life by living it, but rather just going through the motions, going to your job in the morning, coming back, preparing for the next morning to wake up again and go to your job on the weekends or whenever you're off, to maybe go to the gym or go and fulfill those patternistic, if that's a word, patternistic things that we all are victims of. But none of it's really living life. And I feel sometimes saddened when I look back and I think that I've not been able to live life. I've gone through life. I've walked through life, but never actually lived it at times. Yes, there's moments where I have definitely, and I've started to become better at that as I've become conscious of living life. But really, really honing in on, I'm going to live life to the fullest, because God gave us one opportunity, and on this earth we were born to be able to live a life and do all these things. So why not do that? It never made sense to me when I started realizing it, that we have a life, we're in life, and we're not living it. It baffles me when I look back and I think, why wasn't I doing this earlier? Because living life can be as simple as going outside and just taking a walk and experiencing nature and looking at all the things that God's created, and let you be a part of all that creation around you, and just basically living life in that moment. So living life is a big one for me. Next one is saving money. And I think this applies to everyone. Whether you're 18, 20, 25, 30, 35, 55, 65. Yeah, saving money is probably the most influential thing that you can do throughout your life. Money doesn't buy happiness, and I am a firm thinker towards that, but it buys you things. It buys you things, and those things allow you to have a freedom, a certain type of freedom, which you won't otherwise have, you won't otherwise get unless you're able to buy it. And in order to do so, you need money. So save, whether it's £1, £5, £10, whatever you make, whatever you get. Because I know when we're younger, we get money rather than make money. When you get money, put it aside. Don't go and buy the latest thing and the latest tech or whatever. Don't go and buy the latest phone. Save it. Compound it. Make it into something that will allow you to buy freedom. Because that's what you're getting when you save money at all costs. Excuse the pun. There will be a point where you're able to buy things that people around you are not able to. So save money. and start early. The third one is try. Try even if you're afraid of failure. And trying is all we can do. It's not something that we have a choice towards. If you really think about anything you pursue, sorry for the background noise, anything you pursue, anything you try and do in life, all we can do is try. All we end up doing is trying. And that is all we should strive to do. But, and this is a huge, huge intervention to the whole trying motion, you have to try your best, your absolute best. You should be able to go to bed knowing that you tried and you gave it your best shot today. So yes, try, but try your best. And that's for yourself, because you can tell everyone you tried really hard. Only you know deep down if you've tried your best. Because if you try your best, then what will happen is two things. You won't have the regret of, had I tried harder, this could have been that. And the second thing is, your results will be better than not trying your best. There's a very high likelihood that your results will be better. Next one is work hard. That's the fourth one. So work hard. Whatever you do, work hard. It coincides with the last one, but work hard to build towards your dreams, especially. So work hard. That's getting up in the morning, going to work, working hard. But that is to accumulate enough income to build towards your dreams. Nobody, I can say categorically, firmly, nobody wants to work for someone else. We all want to be able to have a sense of freedom, a sense of belonging in our own lifestyle without it being dictated by other people's businesses or other people's timetables. And the way you can facilitate that, or try to do so, is to work hard at first and in your spare time, rather than just wasting that on things that won't really help towards building your dreams. Work hard towards building your dreams in your spare time, because that's the time where you can say, I've got a spare X amount of time and I'm choosing to put it towards working hard on building my dreams. Even if it means 5 minutes, half an hour. Make a list of things you need to do short term and build towards them for the long-term dream you have. And to be honest, I'm working towards my dream right now. I've always been told I can communicate well. I have a certain set of skills. Why do I do what I do? I ask myself this. And then I tell myself, I do what I do in my day-to-day work because it, quite brutally putting it, makes money enough to be able to facilitate and help towards fulfilling aspects of my life, my family, and all these sort of usual suspects that people go to work for. But I've been also a victim of not putting my dreams ahead of my day-to-day, and I don't want you guys to do the same. So work hard and then work even harder towards building your dreams. The fifth one is being yourself. I've put this midway because I think being yourself is something that we are doing anyway. but it's something that we don't consciously want to do on a consistent basis, because we are dictated, unfortunately, by the unrealistic expectations set by others, and unfortunately in this digital age, set by the social media platforms of influencers, etc. And therefore we cannot be ourselves, or we choose not to. We drift away from being ourselves. And when I say be yourself, I mean just find a way to go about life without having to be apologetic, without compromising what you really feel towards things and how you really are as a person. Because we tend to put on a persona, a way of behaving, just to please the expectations of others who we may value, but they're not us. So you have to be yourself. And guess what? The best version of yourself is you. It's yourself. And that's a life lesson I've learnt the harsh, brutal way. So be yourself at all costs. Be yourself. And don't be ashamed of being yourself. Number 6 is time. Time is ruthless. Time doesn't stop for anyone. It completely is absolutely brutally ruthless. Example being, every day people are dying and they have loved ones they leave behind with them. And whether those people like it or not, the loved ones, they will move on, because time moves them on. And therefore, my thinking is, if time is so ruthless, then we have to treat it that way. Time's ruthless, so I'm going to try and make the most of it. Time's not going to wait for me, so I'm going to do something today. In fact, I'm going to do something now. So just remember that. Time is ruthless, and it's not going to wait for anyone. The 7th one is choose your circles wisely. Yeah. Choose your circles wisely, because they can shape your day-to-day, they can shape your future, they can shape the way you think sometimes. So whether that be your friends or even your partner, make sure you're around people external to your immediate family that are not going to influence you negatively, and also people who really want you to do well, really want good for you. Because I think we have a very high tendency towards choosing friends, and especially partners, who are not really good for you in the long term. They may be good for you in the short term because they give you a short-term high, but in the long term, choose a partner or friends who want you to do well in life just as much as you want to do well in life yourself. And that brings me to the 8th lesson, is to take a step back. Take a step back from the reality of what's going on in front of you. So a lot of the time we notice, but we don't take heed of things. It's happening in front of us, but we don't take a step back enough to realize, I don't really want to be a part of that. I shouldn't want to be a part of that. I shouldn't be in that zone at that time. And these things can range from just day-to-day drama, family feuds, how you behave because of things that influence that behavior, you need to take a step back and ask yourself, do I like this situation? Do I want to continue being in this situation? Is this situation good for me? If it's not, take a step back and stay back away from all of that, because you've got enough in your life. That's dramatic. You don't need to add any more. The 9th is try to improve incrementally. Incrementally is the key word. It's the word of the day for this video. Everything I've noted so far, I'm not expecting you to just pull away from this video and put into action. But if you do it incrementally, hopefully you'd have a better understanding of life earlier on. Because when you want to improve incrementally, it builds patience, it builds endurance, and most importantly, it builds endurance, stamina towards all the things that we are hasty towards, we want to do in a rush. And rushing causes mistakes, and mistakes can cause failure. So therefore, try to improve incrementally, one step at a time, one day at a time. It's a journey, it's a marathon. All the cliches, it's definitely not a sprint. So try to improve whatever you're working on incrementally. Last but not least, I'm going to end the video and the list of my 10 life lessons that I've learned in the last 30 years of being on this planet with being kind. So being kind, that's a subject, because it's not the most headline worthy amongst the list, but it's probably perhaps one of the most important. Being kind towards others, being kind towards anyone of value in your life, being kind towards strangers is one of those things which I evaluated on this list, which I don't think can have a negative result. It hasn't got a source of negativity attached to it. In fact, it can only result, I think, in goodness. So be kind to others, be kind to your peers, be kind to your friends, be kind to your family, be kind to those who you love, be kind to those who you may not love, but be kind to them regardless. Be kind to strangers, be kind to people you may not see again, be kind to people who you may see again. But most importantly, be kind to yourself. Remember that.